The year 2014 radically changed Ukraine. Military hostilities in eastern Ukraine showed the incredible courage of the Ukrainian people. Everyday names of the heroes guarding the peace and sovereignty of their country enter the modern history of Ukraine. The special project, Ukraine in Uniform, focuses on the revival, formation and achievements of the armed forces of Ukraine and uniformed services. This profession is associated with masculinity and romanticism. In addition, the sea instills fortitude and a fighting spirit in people. Maritime spaces harden person, help to deal with challenges, teach to appreciate life and human relationships. The program knows more about servicemen of the Ukrainian Navy. Sea Storm. It has its laws and certain principles of life. Our warship is a special vessel of the armed forces of Ukraine. The naval flag and pennant are distinctive features of its nationality. The flag of the Ukrainian Navy flutters on the ship. Therefore, such a high responsibility rests on the warship as a representative of a sovereign state that performs its military duties in the territorial waters of Ukraine. After all, Ukraine is a maritime country, so the responsibility of the naval forces of Ukraine is to safeguard the country's maritime borders. Service in the naval forces differs from other armed forces because the maritime task includes long-distance sea voyages in a limited space. Marine infantry combines air, sea and land activities, and for this reason, Navy cadets and officers must keep their temper, get along with the entire team, and withstand psychological and moral stress. Anyone who plans to join the Navy must be aware of the before-mentioned requirements and be ready to meet them with perfection.
Витримка, фізичне та моральне навантаження. І той, хто пов'язує життя з військово-морським силом, той повинен знати всі ці якісні характеристики.
The naval forces are one of the 5 armed forces of Ukraine. In recent years, they have gone through many changes, and the annexation of Crimea by Russia has deprived Ukraine of the better part of its military fleet.
80% корабельного складу
80% of ship personnel remained in the occupied Crimea. The same goes for the coastal component. On the one hand, in my opinion, we've learned a lesson. This has its advantages and disadvantages. Among the disadvantages was that we lost our ships and our staff.
навчений кадровий склад.
In March 2014, the Russian occupation of Crimea destroyed the lives of many and presented a whole host of challenges to many sailors. They had to choose between military duty with an oath of loyalty to Ukraine and attractive promises of a well-paid service in the Russian fleet.
Я маю констатувати той факт, що дійсно 30% із всього особового складу вийшли на...
I'm obligated to constitute the fact that only 30% of the Navy personnel returned to mainland Ukraine after these tragic events. We have purged our ranks of those whose interests were higher than moral values.
У яких на сьогодні цінності
These values changed after they pledged their posts. They succumbed to the temptation of Russian rubles and thereby betrayed their homeland on the oaths they gave to serve for it. We do not regret this.
Садами, коли їм помахали, як кажуть, карбованцями російськими, і вони пішли на
I'm confident in our military servicemen who left Crimea and those who joined the Ukrainian Navy after their annexation of Crimea.
Я впевнений за наших військовослужбовців, ті, які вийшли з Криму, ті, які після анексії увійшли в склад військово-морських сил.
We are military men and we are directly involved in the situation in Crimea. We have some experience. We know for certain that the Crimean Tatar people made their choice and opposed the annexation and the referendum, which led to direct occupation and the undeclared war.
А це безпосередня окупація і це неоголошена війна.
Ukrainian sailors have lost their hopes that those Ukrainian Navy ships that remained in the annexed Crimea will be returned. And despite the difficult situation, the naval forces of Ukraine continue to perform their main tasks. The sailors have settled on the new place of deployment and continue to patrol the Ukrainian coastal zone.
За 3 роки побудована система.
It took 3 years to build the base for the first brigade of surface ships. In 2014, we were stationed in Odessa near the sea, and now we're really functioning on the naval base.
На даний час я можу констатувати тут факт, що ми дійсно набрали пункт базування. Ми його відновили.
We have resorted the base and the ships are docked in the terminal, to which they must return after fulfilling their tasks.
Повертаються після виконання завдань.
Commander of the 1st Brigade of Surface ships Dmitro Glihov is confident in his colleagues and is very proud of the sailors serving under his command.
Я вважаю, що ті люди, які проходили службу
I know that those people who have served with me in Crimea and are currently in service performed their official duty. They took an oath and swore allegiance to Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. And over 3 years, this has motivated them to perform their tasks and protect the state interests and integrity of the country.
Виконувати свої завдання по охороні державних інтересів та безпосередньо цілісності країни.
The Ukrainian naval forces have turned a new, more perspective page in their history.
По-перше, професіоналізм моряка, а тим паче військового моряка.
First of all, the professionalism and dedication of a sailor is based on performing a number of tasks outside the territory of the deployment base of the acting crew or tactical group.
Безпосередньо діючи у складі екіпажу або у складі тактичної групи. За останні 3 роки
Compared to the period of deployment of the base in Sevastopol, over the past 3 years, the level of intensity of combat training and the stay of ships at sea increased by 4 or 5 times. In truth, it is more common for ship crews to spend more time performing their tasks at sea than directly on the base.
Більше часу на виконання завдань, чим безпосередньо в пункті базування.
The personnel of the Ukrainian Navy uses the training systems of the most successful countries in the world to train its personnel. Ukrainian naval forces conduct joint maneuvers with their NATO counterparts.
Якщо до цього моменту ми мали деякі
While certain ships earlier took part in specific training sessions, now almost all of the ship's staff is engaged in special maneuver operations.
навчаннях, в тому числі, які ви назвали, Сібріз, то основним і ключовим на даний момент позитивним досягненням.
The main achievement is their training in situational events, not in some pre-planned scenario. After all, the sea is the sea. There are specific weather conditions and specific tactical situations on the sea. A ship's crew, first and foremost, gain experience and exchanges it with our reliable partners from France, Turkey, and the USA. I consider this a great breakthrough in combat training of Ukrainian naval forces.
Туреччина, Соединені Штати. В цьому я вважаю найбільший прорив в напрямку бойової підготовки.
The Ukrainian Navy has recently added a couple of artillery boats of Ukrainian design. The design code is Gurza. Armored boats are intended for military surveillance of rivers and lakes on the borders of Ukraine, as well as the coastal maritime zone. Their list of tasks includes patrolling, protecting waterways, and combat with small-sized vessels of the enemy. If necessary, the boat is capable of attacking such objects as bunkers, buildings, bridges, motor vehicles, as well as lightweight combat vehicles.
Тут, можна сказати так, 2 новітніх зразка озброєння.
I would characterize them as two of the latest examples of the Navy armaments. Last year, the Production Association Forge on Rybatsky completed 2 artillery boats for us. They became the first signs for supplementing the armaments of the naval forces. In the near future, we will receive several more units with such weaponry.
Морських сил, скажімо так, це перші ластівки В найближчі роки ми ще отримаємо ще декілька таких одиниць подібного озброєння.
Despite its small size, the boat is an important and, in some cases, an indispensable combat vehicle. The armored boats of this upgraded series are called Gurza M. It is planned that this boat will be manufactured especially for the base of the Ukrainian Navy. To date, two newest armored boats, Akerman and Berdansk, keep watch over the sea under the flags of the naval forces of Ukraine. The relative simplicity of their production allows, if necessary, to make boats in large quantities and to use them at small depths inaccessible for large vessels. According to the blueprint, the Gurza M boat is less than 1 meter with a total tonnage of up to 50 tons.
Зовсім новітній вид озброєння для військово-морських сил. В часті, що стосується...
This is a completely new kind of armament of the naval forces of Ukraine, which has no analogs. This is a completely new kind of equipment and armament. This is a high-speed, high-maneuverable armament that is a very important factor in modern-day battles on the sea.
Це висока швидкість, це висока маневреність, що в умовах сучасного морського бою це дуже важливі фактори.
Therefore, handling new types of weapons requires having both professional skills and love and dedication for your work at sea.
Неможливо привити
It is impossible to cultivate love of the sea just as in any other profession. It's the calling of the soul, and if you do not have it, there is no point to waste your time on a ship service career because it is a very difficult profession.
то це марнотратство по часу, знаходження на корабельній службі, тому що вона досить складна.
Of course, romantics choose the maritime profession and only the real sailors remain in the Navy, because the sea itself selects for service only the most courageous, persistent, goal-oriented and dedicated individuals.
Позитивних ноток у цій роботі дуже багато. Екіпаж дружний. Затім
There are a lot of advantages in this work, in particular a friendly crew. I very much enjoy leaving the harbor. I cannot explain this in words when standing on the ship's deck and looking out to the open sea. The endless spaces are very exhilarating and impressive. In order to get to the sea, one needs to be a man of purpose, be able to withstand being away from the family, and have good, strong health.
підтримка, щоб бути далеко від сім'ї, мати здоров'я, щоб виходити в море.
Вони розуміють ті задачі, вони розуміють.
I consider that the current Navy staff has deliberately chosen this path. It understands the tasks and directions where to move. And I'm confident that we will achieve excellent results for further constructive development of the naval forces of Ukraine.
Для подальшого конструктивного розвитку військово-морських сил.
The heroes of today's program protect the Ukrainian state, its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Ukrainian army does everything to avoid civilian taking up arms and turning Ukraine into a reckless shooting gallery. We wish you peaceful skies and see you soon in the next Ukraine in Uniform program.